Friends, in our Holy Week journey, we are now to Good Friday. And Good Friday we remember as the day that Jesus died on the cross. But we don't have to be too sad, even though it is a sad time to remember that. Because we can remember that 3 days after, God raised Jesus from the dead. So really, when we think about the cross, we think about the great love that God has for us that we see in Jesus. And as we think about the story of Jesus on the cross and Easter, I have a wonderful book that I'd like to share with you that explains the mystery of Easter. And that's the book's title. This is the Mystery of Easter by Amelia Richardson Dress and illustrated by Lily J. Moore. There was once a man who loved big enough to change the world. People knew he was in God and God was in him. Everywhere he went, people would ask him, "What's the best way to live?" This man, whose name was Jesus, would answer, "Love. Love God, love yourself, love everyone else." Now, there were some people who didn't like what Jesus was teaching. They did not want to be told to love God, love themselves, and love everyone else. It's a very hard thing to love that big. Instead of learning this hard thing, they decided to have Jesus killed. This is the hard part of the story. When we tell this part of the story, we always say, this is not the end of the story. The hard part of the story is that Jesus' enemies did not want to learn love, so they had Jesus killed on a cross. The cross reminds us of a very sad thing. Jesus' friends, the ones who knew that he was in God and God was in him, were very sad. They remembered how they felt when Jesus was around, like God was with them too. Their hearts were broken. Jesus' friends put him in a tomb, which was like a cave, and they used a big stone for the door. Then they took some time to cry and hug and to try to fix their broken hearts. Later, several of Jesus' friends went to the tomb where he was buried. Sometimes, when you're very sad because someone has died, it helps to visit their grave. The tomb was like a grave, and Jesus' friends were very sad. When they got there, they discovered that the huge stone that had been blocking the entrance was out of the way. Inside, they saw a man dressed in a white robe who said to them, "Do not be afraid. You're sad, but here is good news. Jesus is alive again." This is a mysterious story. This is the story that changes the cross. It still reminds us of a sad thing, but now it reminds us of a good, important thing. Now it reminds us that no matter what happens, no matter how hard things are, we are with God and God is with us. This is the secret to loving God, loving yourself, and loving everyone else. God is always with you. I hope you enjoyed that story. I enjoy that story because it reminds me what the cross really does mean. That God loves us so much that not even death could stop that love for the world. And so Easter is a mystery. We don't really know how it works, but we do know that God is always with us. So I hope you will take that truth with you throughout this day on Good Friday and into the celebration and joy of Easter. We'll see you later.